Good afternoon. I'm Jason Sloss. This is a Fox 5 special report happening right now. San Diego County officials are providing their update on the coronavirus situation here in San Diego County. We'll listen in.
Could lead to the return of some of the restrictions that we've had in the past. Counties placed on that watch list by the state wind up there because of a series of metrics that have been reached that show the spread of coronavirus is still growing. Over the weekend, our numbers continue to grow in the wrong direction, with 489 cases on Friday, 468 cases on Saturday, and unfortunately 562 cases reported yesterday. As a result, at midnight tonight, our public health order will be updated under the state's directive, and we will close all indoor activities at the following businesses and establishments: restaurants, bars, card rooms, wineries and tasting rooms, theaters, zoos, museums, and family entertainment centers, indoor activities. This order will be in effect for the next 3 weeks. The intent here is to slow the spread and reduce the number of cases over the next 3 weeks to get a better handle on this virus. Supervisor Fletcher and Dr. Wilma Wooten will go into more details about the updated public health order and what we will be allowed under certain restrictions. With that, let me turn it over to Supervisor Fletcher.
Thank you, Chairman Cox. We're here today, again, as was mentioned, and no surprise, to share that we are officially in the period of corrective action as outlined by the state of California. Today in San Diego County, we topped 17,000 total coronavirus cases. And in the last 10 days, perhaps in the last 2 weeks in particular, we've seen a concerning rate of spread. A rate of spread that has not only impacted our county triggers that we monitor on a regular basis, but also the state triggers that we monitor and track in real time. And so because of that, because of the 6-day period on the state monitoring and state watch list, today we are in a position where we're forced to implement their directed restrictions or dialing back. Throughout the beginning of this, we've said as we move through this process, we'll have to constantly monitor and we'll have to constantly adjust what we're doing. And so now, consistent with state guidance and with the state order, we are making the appropriate adjustments. You know, if we go back and we remember the overall strategy, I'm reminded of the phrase, hope is not a strategy, and we can't simply hope for the best. We have to put in place a series of measures that allow us to guide our way through and slow the spread in a responsible way to help us manage and mitigate through this, preserving as much of our economy and large sections of what we hold dear as possible. In April and March, in particular April, we came together with a month of action to flatten the curve. We did that incredibly successfully as a region. That bought us time to build up our healthcare system capacity, to build up our testing capacity, and to move into May. May was a month of adaptation as we began to adapt our behaviors, as we started opening up parks and beaches and outdoor opportunities. We talked about the vital importance of things like face coverings, which as a county we implemented early. We talked about the importance of physical distancing, hand washing, and of course the vital testing, tracing, and treatment or isolation strategies. That gave way to June, where we moved forward into the reopenings of our economy. But a large part of that strategy and effort was the introduction of the metrics, both what we monitor here in San Diego County, along with what the state of California monitors, to give us early warning signs that things were not headed in a good direction, and give us the ability to make adjustments in terms of turning the dial to try and get them under control. I would remind everyone that hospitalizations and deaths and ICU utilizations are lagging indicators of positive cases. And so it's important that oftentimes we take action when it may not appear from a hospitalization or death standpoint that we need to. I've spent a lot of my life in the mountains, both in the Marines and hiking, and we often say when it comes to hydrating, if you wait until you're thirsty, it's too late. And the reality is if you wait until your hospitals are overwhelmed, it is too late. And that's why these metrics are put in place to give us a guide as we work our way through this. But I think it's important that we think about the coronavirus pandemic as a daily fight that we are all in together. We are in a fight to slow the spread of coronavirus. And we win that fight by physical distancing, by utilizing face covers, by hand washing. We win that fight, a daily fight that we are all in together. We are in a fight to slow the spread of coronavirus. And we win that fight by physical distancing, by utilizing face covers, by hand washing. We win that fight by adhering to the public health orders, all of us coming together collectively to keep our numbers in check. We fight every single day to preserve the integrity of our healthcare system. We fight to save lives. And we have to fight to slow the spread to save our economy. The most important thing for our economy is that they have a smooth and steady reopening, which is why we have to fight to make sure that the cases and hospitalizations and all of the various metrics we monitor are also smooth and steady. If we can come together and avoid significant spikes, then we can avoid the types of situations that we're in today. And so now we have to recommit ourselves. We are where we are today. We're certainly not the only place. The majority of the state of California is in this situation, and countless other states throughout the United States are in a similar situation where they are dialing back or changing particularly higher risk endeavors. Some of them, because their spike has been more significant, are supposed to have more significant dial backs. And we certainly don't want any business to be negatively impacted. And this is something that we had all hoped to avoid in terms of having to dial back. But if we can make some modest adjustments now, get these numbers under control, then the hope is that we can resume and begin to move forward together. We came together tremendously to flatten the curve. Now we have to come together to slow the spread. And we have a period of time throughout July to go out and get these numbers under control and put ourselves in the best possible position to be winning the fight against coronavirus moving forward. Per the governor's orders in the state of California, we are now one of the 23 counties in California that are required to take corrective action. And so starting at midnight tonight, 12:01 a.m., the following changes must be put in place. The dine-in sections of restaurants, bars, breweries, and pubs that serve food will be closed. They will be limited to outdoor dining only. In addition to outdoor dining, of course, they can do pickup and delivery, curbside, and takeout. But any area of a dining establishment that sells food must cease on-site food consumption by 10 p.m. with all customers out by 11. Now, takeout, delivery, drive-through, those types of things that don't have the on-site consumption are free to continue on a 24-hour cycle. Bars, breweries, brew pubs, and pubs that do not serve food must close all operations, even if those operations are outdoors. Now, if you are a brewery, brew pub that does not serve food, you are still allowed to do curbside sales of your products, both to allow for pickup of your products. Wineries and distilleries in the state order have been separated from bars, breweries, and brew pubs. Wineries and distilleries must close indoor operations, but are allowed to have outdoor operations with all appropriate modifications that have been outlined. Movie theaters must close indoor operations. Indoor operations of family entertainment centers, bowling alleys, batting cages, arcades, the indoor function of those must close. Zoos, outdoor activities are allowed, but any indoor zoo facilities may close. I've spoken to the San Diego Zoo, and they think this will have a very minimal impact on what they're doing. Indoor museums must close. Indoor card rooms must close. And we certainly understand that the impact this will have on restaurants and businesses, many of whom just reopened a short time ago. These are not decisions that anyone takes lightly, and they're not decisions that are not taken understanding the very difficult strain and stresses you're under. They are decisions that are put in place and designed in order to slow the spread, to allow us to continue to move forward and allow us to try to get this under control so that we can get large sections of our economy back up and running successfully. We talked from the very beginning that these metrics, again, were put in place as early warning indicators of things we needed to do to try and get it under control. And I know all of us here in San Diego are committed to the same fight, preserving life, preserving the integrity of our healthcare system, and preserving our economy and our jobs. And again, the two are not mutually exclusive. We must slow the spread of coronavirus in order to allow our economy to open and thrive. We took some actions last week because we hit our county triggers, and today we're here taking some because we hit the state triggers. And we will continue to monitor each and every day everything that we look at and we see, and we will, of course, continue to urge the public to be mindful of our individual actions. We all have tremendous ability to make conscious decisions about the actions that we take that can contribute greatly to what we're doing. Please wear a face covering. Physically distance with non-household members. Avoid large crowds, particularly indoor settings. Indoor settings, I think, consistent with the state guidance and what we've been doing, are the ones that are most problematic and most concerning. And let's do our very best to get through this together. With that, we will jump into our numbers today with an update on our charts. We will begin with our T3, testing, tracing, and treatment. I would like to say a special thank you to the county staff and many of the health system staff who worked through the holiday weekend to continue to administer and process testing. Today we're reporting 7,667 tests. Usually on a Monday we see a significant drop. We did not this weekend. So we continue to have our 7-day average be well above our initial goal. And you see our contact tracers there, investigations being performed, and our public health motel room treatments. Today for cases, I mentioned we're at 17,000 total. Our numbers today are down a bit, 274 positive cases out of the 7,667 I mentioned, for a 4% percentage of positive. This is just a little bit under our 14-day rolling average. So we will continue to monitor, but certainly better numbers today than previously. Hospital daily census is basically unchanged. ICUs are up a little bit for COVID. Non-ICUs are down a little bit. Again, I would remind everyone hospitalizations tend to be a lagging indicator. Period of time after you see an increase in cases is when you're likely to see an increase in hospitalizations. We keep going down here. The next one will be our hospital census. Again, you see our ICU numbers virtually the same. Non-ICU down just a little bit there, 3811, well below our 80% capacity, just under 5,000. And then the next one is our ICU utilization. COVID numbers up just a little bit, non-COVID down a little bit, still hovering right there at 70% of our ICU utilization. That concludes my section of the report, and I'll now turn it over to Dr. Wooten for her public health officer's update.
For your update today, and welcome everyone to today's briefing. On the first slide, we show our global, national, and state statistics. That information is obtained from the Johns Hopkins dashboard, and you can Google that just to keep up with those data that are updated fairly frequently. I'm going to focus today on our San Diego County statistics reported at it's actually through 11:59 yesterday and reported this morning. We were reporting 17,000 cases, which is 274 more cases than reported yesterday, and also includes 387 deaths, with no new deaths reported over the weekend. As a reminder, over the past 3 days, from Friday through 11:59 Sunday, the county has reported 1,304 new cases, 468 for Friday, 562 for Saturday, and 274 for Sunday. The age range of cases still remains from 3 months to 102 years of age. 57% of the cases are in the age range of 20 to 49 years of age. This overall percentage is continuing to increase from just over 50% at the beginning of the pandemic in March to now at 57% after 4 months. 8,652 or 51% of our cases are female, 8,223 or 49% are male, and only 125 individuals did not report gender. 1,912 or 11% of cases have hospitalized. Now, while this hospitalization number is decreasing because it has been as high as 20, we do feel that no, the data shows that in the past 2 weeks to a month, the numbers have increased. 516 of the total number of cases have been admitted to the ICU. This number is 3% of the total number of cases and 27% of the total number of those hospitalized. Regarding deaths, there are, again, as stated, 387 total deaths, which represent 2.3% of the total number of cases, which has decreased from 4% over the past few months. 43% of those who have died were female, 57 were male. 367 or 95% of the total death cases had underlying medical condition, 19 or 5% did not, and 1 is still pending confirmation. And as always, our sincerest condolences and sympathies go out to the family members and friends of all of the cases that have lost their lives due to COVID-19. Now, in the next set of slides, we will show test cases, hospitalizations, ICU admissions, death data, and the epi curve. This slide actually shows our test, and we've been doing very well with tests performed throughout the community over the past 2 weeks. Next slide. Actually, let's go back to the last slide. Just want to point out the fact that in stage 3, the goal was 2 tests per 1,000, and I think we are well above that even at this point. Next slide. So for new cases, we have shown over the past 2 weeks, we have had the highest number of daily cases, with our highest reported on July 1st with 594 cases. But we've been, since I believe Wednesday, the 25th of June, above 400 with the exception of 2 days on June 29th and yesterday, July 5th. Next slide. So this slide shows hospitalizations, and you can see a kind of a wax and wane, but actually the hospitalizations, particularly in the last week, have been anywhere from 13 up to 30 hospitalizations on any given day. And the next slide shows ICUs, which are a subset of hospitalizations, and the trend here has also been keeping up, particularly in the past week. The next slide shows deaths, and as is always reported, on the weekends we don't, the deaths aren't reported, so we see them during the week, usually from Tuesday to Thursday. So last week the number of deaths overall were greater than the prior week. Deaths lag behind hospitalizations, which lags behind cases. So we expect that this lag occurs, and this is the same pattern that occurs for influenza. Next slide shows our epi curve. And you've heard me say previously that we had peaked from March 20th through May 8th, but with the reopening of various businesses, we are now seeing increased cases due to individuals being out in the community and interacting. So these numbers are much higher than were previously expected, even though we expected the numbers to increase. And keep in mind that under the bar, we expect new or additional cases because that's the incubation period. So we expect that we will have more cases in that time frame. Going to the next slide, we're going to now talk about outbreaks. So since the beginning of COVID-19, go back to the seal, please, thanks. Since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic in San Diego County, we've had 168 outbreaks overall in congregate settings, which is divided into SNFs, skilled nursing facilities, and non-skilled nursing facilities, as well as the third bucket of outbreaks is with community settings. And the community setting outbreaks are related to our triggers. Of the 168 outbreaks, 79 or 47% are now closed, which means the outbreak is inactive and has not had any new cases in the past 14 days or longer. Of the 168 outbreaks, 89 or 53% are still active. And of this 89, 23 or 26% are in our San Diego skilled nursing facilities. And we have a total of 86 in San Diego. There were no new outbreaks reported since yesterday in SNFs. For the non-SNFs, we have 30 or 34% of the 89 active outbreaks in this category. We had one new outbreak reported since yesterday. And lastly, in community setting locations, we have had or currently have 36 active or 40% of the 89 active outbreaks. Now, since yesterday, we've had one new confirmed outbreak reported and one outbreak that became inactive, so that's a draw there. Now, in discussions about outbreaks, this now leads us into our discussion regarding our triggers. And if we can show the next slide. For our triggers, we have them identified here. We changed trigger number 1 and number 10 to be consistent with the state's metrics. And the case rate number 1 is the trigger that has us on the state's watch list. But we also are concerned about our community outbreaks, and we will review those in a minute. And then the third trigger that is abnormal is case investigations, and we will also review that. So if we go to the next slide, this is an overview of outbreaks so the trigger here is 7 outbreaks, no more than 7 outbreaks over the past 7 days. And obviously, we have 21 outbreaks in that time period. And you can see that on July 1st, we had 10 outbreaks, community setting outbreaks reported, 0 for July 2nd, 2, 1, and 1. And then you see the others before July 1st. So every day, the last day drops off. So tomorrow, if we get no new community outbreaks, we will have 4 that drop off. So that will drop us down to 17. But we anticipate that we will get more community setting outbreaks. If we go to the next slide, just before we go to that slide, I just want to talk about, actually, if you can go forward, there should be a table. Next slide. These are not quite in order. There should be 2 tables, if you can go back to the first slide. There should be 2 tables that list the outbreaks, the community outbreaks, and unfortunately, they're there, but not in the quite order. So I think staff is trying to get those for you. So I just want to talk about the case rate, which is what we changed trigger number 1 to. Again, that is the metric that the county has placed the county on the state watch list. This metric is calculated. It is the number of cases over the population times 100,000. So that's how that metric is calculated. Trigger number 2, as I stated, is related to community outbreaks. So that's the number of outbreaks in the past 7 days. And again, we have 21, 2 less than yesterday, and 1 added today. Are we there? Okay, can you go? There we go. So this slide and the slide afterwards shows the 20, it shows the outbreaks that are currently in the past 7 days, and I apologize, but the top is incorrect. It should be 21 outbreaks in the last 7 days. So again, if you go to the next slide, it lists them. It shows the number of slides. So 16 of these community setting, there you go. 16 of these community setting outbreaks are in restaurants. And this is 76% of the total number of the community setting, 16 out of 21. So again, this supports the actions that we are taking today and that are being imposed upon us by the state. So if we go to the next slide. Go to the next slide, please. So, the slide with the bars on it, sorry. We were there before. There you go. Okay, so this is trigger number 10, which is the focused on case investigation. And when the trigger here is if it gets below 70%, it is abnormal. And as you can see, over the past week and a half or so, it has been abnormal, actually over the past week since June 29th. We don't, actually June 20 or June 30th, where we were at 69%. And that is below the 70% target for this. And this is because of the increased number of cases. Going back for the past 2 weeks, in the middle of Wednesday, June 25th, this was the first day we had over 400 new cases. And we've continued that trend primarily with the exception of 2 days. On the 29th, we had 317, and on the 5th, yesterday, we had 274 cases. But as you can see, since the 29th, the case investigation percentage, which is a case being contacted within 24 hours, the contact initiated within 24 hours, that has declined. We are mitigating this issue by maximizing all of our staffing resources, bringing on additional staff that was already in the pipeline to be hired as case investigators. Case investigators are nurses or epidemiologists. They interview the case first and identify contacts and then hand those contacts off to our contact tracers. So we will continue to closely monitor this, and hopefully in next week we will begin to see these numbers go up as we bring on additional staff. So in the next slide, so the state of California added San Diego County to the state's watch list on Friday. The county continued to be on the list for the last 3 days, requiring the county to be added to the list of counties that have to close indoor businesses for restaurants, wineries, tasting rooms, movie theaters, family entertainment centers, zoos, and museums, and card rooms for the next 3 weeks. And the red column, that is our trigger number 1 that I showed you earlier, and this is the metric that is abnormal. Cases per, or the case rate per 100,000 for the last 14 days. And so it has been greater than 100. And that is what has landed us on the state's watch list, again, because of the increased number of cases. And if we go to the next slide, I just wanted to share with you the process so that everyone understands. We were initially on, we were flagged for 3 days, then we were placed on the watch list, and then we had to be on the watch list for 3 more days, permanently placed on it on July 3rd. If we go to the next slide, July 3rd through July 5th, if we continue to be abnormal, this would put us on the state's watch list for the next 3 weeks. So if our numbers continue to rise, if they decline, we could potentially come off on July 27th. But we will continue to monitor the cases to determine what the future holds. And I believe that is my last slide. Thank you. So I just want to leave everyone with this last message. And I say this at every briefing, but I cannot cannot continue to emphasize this enough. And that is, it is important for everyone to really understand that the pandemic is not over. The virus is still in our community, and it is still widespread and responsible for the increased number of cases. So whatever your age group, whomever you are, we want you to practice the guidelines that we have promoted throughout this pandemic. The first is practice good hygiene and sanitation, practice social distancing, wear your facial covering, and please, no gatherings, and if you do, please adhere to those guidelines. So now more than ever, it is very important that we all take our precautions and that we play our part, because everyone does have a role to play.